it's me! Welcome to Old Staples Crafts. My name is Liz Yuille, and today I have got the video that goes with the swap that I've made for this weekend's team event. So this is run by my upline. One of the reasons that I signed back up with Stampin' Up was because of the community, because you get to hang out with people who enjoy doing the same thing as you. So one of the things we do when we have a team event is we make lots of the same project and we swap those with other people that are attending the event. So a few people can't this time make swaps, so we're actually doing 30. There are more than 30 people going to the event, but we're doing 30 swaps. I've done 24. I've got 6 more to do, and I thought I would show you how I am making, I'm not going to make all 6, don't worry, but how I am making the swaps. So let me find my desk and flip the camera down. There we go. So this is the swap that I am making. So let me bring it up. Hopefully that will focus. I will have close-ups on my website, and there'll be a link to that in the description bar below the video. So I'm using all current product. That's one of the prerequisites. So I'm using Tags to Go, and it's a bundle. So I've got the Tags to Go dies as well. It's this die that I'm using, but you've got lots. This is a great set for all sorts of things. It's part of a suite that is aimed at travel. But if you've got birthdays coming up, be they 18th to 21st, and you're doing the key for the door, you've got that. You could do Valentine's with a key to my heart, all sorts of things. But I've been using this die. Let's pop it back here, then I know it's safely back. You can see the key even fits there. But it makes a little tag with a tear-off strip. Obviously, I'm not allowing the strip to tear off, but purely because I'm sticking it down. And I'm using Far Away But Close at Heart and this heart. But we've got date, so if you want a scrapbook and have a date stamp, great date stamp there. Congrats, today marks an adventure, enjoy, an arrow, geotag heart, and then just a little icon. You're going places, so that could be graduates, all sorts of things. Life's detours are better with you, and welcome home. So lots and lots of very useful sentiments. Don't think it's just for travel. I have some of what needs to be done. Don't actually need those were there just as a size. So I have already embossed, as in dry embossed, the background using the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. This is a carryover item. I don't know if it's in the catalogue or just online, but it is a current as opposed to going away soon item. So that's what those are. I am going to blend with crumb cake. This is crumb cake. I'm going to add some blending around the edge of the card, because if you can see here, this is, if I pop that on top of there, you may be able to see that this is a lot lighter than this. That's because this has got to have crumb cake put on. I've got a glove purely because otherwise I'm going to end up covered in crumb cake. So this is the hand I will be using to hold everything down. So it's the hand that could end up covered in ink. So let's open that up. Don't need that around at the moment. Grab my crumb cake brush, and I'm not putting ink all over. I'm doing the edges and bringing it into the center, but I do want to highlight in the center, so an area that is not inked. I'm using it's a, what do they call it? It's a stencil mat that I've had for a while. It's really good at holding things in place, so, and it means you can come off the surface and bring the ink on. It saves on ink. Otherwise, obviously you can use grid paper or just some scratch paper. You know, the post you get through that you don't really want, that's brilliant for using as scrap paper, but I do find that this works, and you actually do use less ink because you're bringing it onto the card rather than leaving it on the surface off to the side. Yes, I can waffle for Britain. So anyway, so our team event is being held just outside Birmingham. Historically we've used a city centre venue, but for various reasons this year we are going slightly outside the city centre, but still near enough that if anyone wants to go into the city over the weekend or before they go to the event, it is still easy enough to get to. So there we go. So I'm only doing one of those because you don't need to see me do all 6 that I still need to do. Obviously I will still need to do the other 5, but hey ho. So let's take this off. This is getting very fragile. It's already ripped here, but it serves a purpose. Don't need to throw it away. Let's not make more waste than we need to. So pop that to one side, pop that to one side. There's no point in cleaning that up just yet either. So, stamping. I have already got in place on a stamp positioner. Sadly, we don't have one at the moment. I'm going to have to cough. So, yeah. So I'm using one that I've, again, had for years. I've got my pre-die cut tag, and this I've just die cut the gap on a piece of scratch card, so that slips in, and I will then just be able to convey about doing all of the ones that I've still got to do. What I want to show you though is this is a slightly different embossing technique, because I'm not just going to emboss once. So I've I've used my embossing buddy onto the tag. Let's ink up my stamps with Versamark. And then, this is the same as ever. Just use my air hockey puck thing. And that is nicely embossed. I've got my embossing tweezers, so I can pop that to one side for the moment. It will be need to come back in, but for the moment, right, I need, there it is, my cheese board. So let's dabble into the white embossing powder. Oops, let's try not to throw it all over my work surface that I've just cleaned. Bear with me one moment while I scoop that up, otherwise it will... Come on. Otherwise I'm going to end up melting it onto the work surface, which is not really what I want to do. So let's get rid of that. Right, let's try that again. Is that still quite a bit there? Let's scooch that out of the way. Oh gosh, it's everywhere. And I literally have just finished cleaning this work surface. But never mind. It's all good. So, heat gun, need to warm that up. So let's get that warmed up. And blitz. Okay, so if we look at this and we compare it to the finished article, hopefully you can see that the heart on this one is not as solid as the heart on that one. And that is because this one has got lots of layers of embossing powder. So let me bring in my positioner again. And pop that in. Add some more buddy. Add some more ink. I am going to ink the whole thing because the words aren't brilliant on this, so they're not totally clear. Take that out. Hopefully this time I can do it without ending up with embossing powder everywhere. So back in, good old tap. Lid back on. Bring this back in. And blitz. Oops. Okay, so we've resolved the issue with the words at the top. I'm now going to change where my tweezers are. I'm just going to heat that heart again, and so what I'm doing is reheating the heart so that it's a little damp. I've dabbled into the embossing powder again, and it has picked up embossing powder. In again. I'm going to have to do a flick. Because I have got embossing powder where I don't want it. Because at this stage, head in camera, always a good plan. At this stage, you're not going to be able to put embossing buddy over the heart, because what you're using to stick the embossing powder on with is embossing powder. Let's get rid of that, because one more layer is all I'm going to need. Right. That on the floor, and now hopefully you can see I've got a nice solid heart. Is that focused? Can't tell. So it's not a new technique, but it's one I think we sometimes forget. So I'm going to actually pop that one to one side because I've already got prepped with linen thread through the top of the tag, one that I made earlier, good old Blue Peter fashion. So I can take my layer and a white layer, so I've got that nice white edge on the final card, and a card base, another white layer. So let us finish our card. I'm going to use liquid adhesive for this layer because it's embossed, and I do prefer liquid adhesive on an embossed layer. You're more likely to get glue onto something that will adhere, and you're less likely to squish the embossing that you very carefully put on in the first place. So that's that on. I've already got dimensionals on the back, so let's take those off. A little bit further up. square, pretty much. So that's that. Then, to get the linen thread to stay in place, you want to curl your linen thread to where you want it. Put the tiniest little dab of glue. Hold that in place for a moment so that it adheres. Then take the other one and put the tiniest bit of glue in place and hold that in place. And then I also want to add some embellishments. So these are adhesive back textured dots, again currant. It's the one thing that for our swaps we are asked is that we use current product. We can use Last Chance, but we run the risk of it going out of stock before the event, in which case it's no longer current. So using stuff that isn't on the Last Chance list is always a bonus. I've got my card base, so that's half a sheet of card. I've scored it down the middle, and I can add my layers to the front. Now, if you're in the UK, I can't speak to other parts of the world, this will go through the mail as a standard size letter, not a large letter. So you're not having to get involved in the whole large letter, oh my god, I might as well take out a second mortgage thing. So that's the outside of the card. The inside, I like to have a white or vanilla liner on my cards. I don't like the look of writing onto coloured cardstock. So because I don't like it, I assume other people don't like it. So I put a liner in. I do use seal rather than liquid adhesive because I find it gives a nice flat adhesion, whereas on the back of the standard weight white cardstock it can end up giving a slight lift to the card. Anywho, there we go. Just 5 more to go and we're golden. So I hope you enjoyed that. Really quite I mean, there's a lot of technique involved, but it's quite a simple project. Doesn't take that long to put together, particularly if you're mass producing. I will now go away and do the last 5 as a conveyor belt. So let me get my ugly mug back up. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up, always appreciated. If you've got any questions or comments, you can leave those below in the description bar. There'll be a link to my website, which will have close-up photos and a bit more about the techniques that I have used. If you don't already subscribe, that's always a bonus. And I will see you again very soon. I hope. I've now just got to find my end screen, which, if you've been watching me recently, I struggle with, but I've got it. Yay! Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.